It's a lovely day today, so whatever you've got to do, you got a lovely day to do it in, that's true. And I hope whatever you've got to do is something that can be done by two, for I'd really like to stay.
Welcome to Ask Aunt Anne. It's a lovely day here, and I hope it's a lovely day where you are. Summer is winding down, and it's time to think about fall and all that the beautiful autumn time of year brings. On the show today, we'll look at how to best utilize the bounty from our summer harvest by making freezer jam. And we'll take a look at ways you can save those last sun-kissed tomatoes. We'll also help your feet feel fabulous after a long summer of sandals. And we'll show you how to make a quick and easy on-the-go emergency box, and so much more. Uncle Morey will be stopping by to sing us a song, and Jimmy has some tips on keeping your car looking good. So please stay with us. Here's our first letter. It's from Tess Stewart in Jim Falls, and she writes, "Dear Aunt Anne, I have 3 young kids and someone is always getting hurt. I can't haul around a first aid kit with me all the time. Do you have any suggestions for putting together a small kit?" Thanks for the letter, Tess. I went to the web and found a great idea from Kimberly Elliott. She took a 7-day pill box, added some logo stickers, and turned it into an easy-to-carry first aid kit. What you carry in your box is up to you, of course, but here are some ideas. Pain medication, like aspirin, acetaminophen, naproxen, or ibuprofen. Relief for indigestion or heartburn. Anti-diarrheal medication and antihistamines. And you can add in a few Band-Aids if you fold them. Once you've decided what products to include, use logos from those products, which you can find on the internet, to identify the contents of each compartment. Just print the logos out on your computer printer using sticker paper. Your kit will be easy to carry and easy to access. I hope that helps, Tess. This is such an abundant time of year, with fruits and vegetables everywhere. We received a couple of letters asking what to do with fresh produce so that it can be enjoyed when it's not so plentiful. The first letter is from Karen Victor in Bayfield. She writes, "Dear Aunt Anne, I love fresh fruit and have always wanted to make jam with it. It seems so complicated. Is there an easier method?" There certainly is, Karen. Why not try making freezer jam? I made some for the very first time this summer, and it was pretty straightforward. I found a great recipe for cherry berry freezer jam in a recent issue of Better Homes and Gardens magazine. This is what you'll need. 4 half-pint jars with lids, 1 2/3 cups sugar, 5 tablespoons instant powdered pectin, 2 cups finely chopped pitted fresh or frozen tart red cherries, 2 cups mashed blueberries, and a ½ teaspoon of lemon zest. This adds just a nice little zing to the berry flavor. For the first batch that I made, I used delicious fresh cherries from my parents' cherry trees. If you are using fresh cherries, it's important to remember that pitting and then chopping your fresh cherries can take a significant amount of time, so be sure to plan for this. Here's the pitter that my mom and I use to pit our cherries. It's been in our family for over 40 years. You will need to mash the blueberries. I used a potato masher, but you could also use a pastry blender. In a large bowl, stir together sugar and pectin. Add cherries, blueberries, and zest. Stir for 3 minutes. Ladle jam into clean, half-pint freezer-safe containers, leaving a ½ headspace. Seal and label your lids. Let jars stand at room temperature 30 minutes. Store in the freezer up to 1 year or in the refrigerator up to 3 weeks. It really doesn't get much simpler than that. This jam tastes so good on toast and English muffins, and it also makes a delicious topping for vanilla ice cream. Jimmy and my Uncle Morey will be stopping by later. I'll bet they'll want to sample some. Another listener asked how she could store her tomatoes. Here's her letter. Dear Aunt Anne, I'm seeing red, tomato red that is. Please give me some ideas for preserving all these tomatoes. Thank you. Kristen Little, Seymour, Wisconsin. P.S. I really don't want to can them. Well, Kristen, here are some options. You can freeze tomatoes as well as jam. You can also dehydrate them using your oven, a dehydrator, or the sun, and you can even ferment them. That's very popular these days. You can also make them into condiments like salsa and ketchup and freeze those. Check out the internet for really great recipes and let me know how they turn out. One problem I've had is what to do with the green tomatoes that arrive later in the season. Here's what I do to ripen them. I pick only the best fruit and simply put them in a cardboard box. Don't put in too many, just about 3 or 4 tomatoes deep, because you're going to be going through them looking for red ones. Keep them at room temperature and make sure you go through them every few days to take out the ripe ones and to remove any that may be decaying. One bad tomato will spoil the whole bunch, just like apples. I make up 2 boxes. One I keep a little cooler, that way I have fresh tomatoes longer. If you have more than you want to store, consider whipping up a batch of fried green tomatoes. Try them on the grill. That brings out even more flavor. You can also make salsa verde or green sauce. Usually this is made with tomatillos, but you can substitute green tomatoes. It's simple and so good. You'll need a pound of green tomatoes, 1 medium onion, 3 chilies. You can select the type of pepper depending upon how much spice or heat you'd like the salsa to have. I used jalapenos. 4 cloves of garlic, 12 sprigs of cilantro, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Quarter the tomatoes if they are larger than a golf ball. Quarter the onion and add all the ingredients except the cilantro and salt to a large pot and just cover with water. Bring it to a boil and simmer for 10 minutes. Blend the cooked ingredients and the cilantro with the cooking water until smooth. Next, heat 2 tablespoons of cooking oil in the pot. Pour the blended salsa back into it, simmer for 20 minutes, and add salt. All these ingredients can be adjusted to your taste, of course. Remember, if you leave in the seeds of your chilies, the salsa will be much hotter. This salsa will keep in the refrigerator for about 3 days, and it freezes very well. So think about making a double batch. Our next letter comes to us from Jerry Wright in Bridge Creek. He writes, Dear Aunt Anne, I have some beautiful annual flowers this year, and with frost not too far away, I wonder if you've had any luck bringing these plants inside. Do you have any tips? I agree, Jerry. It's hard to lose those beautiful flowers. I have successfully and unsuccessfully brought in plants, and I've learned that the most important thing is to make sure your plants are healthy. So carefully inspect for signs of pests or disease. You don't want to bring those inside and contaminate your other plants. Also, give your outdoor plants time to acclimate to becoming house plants. Bring them indoors while the windows are still open. They'll adjust to the change in temperature and humidity more easily if the change is gradual, rather than waiting until a frost is expected and then bringing the plants into a dry, heated home. Not all annuals will respond well to being kept inside. You'll have to experiment, but but I have found that geraniums, begonias, and impatiens do well, if you can provide a nice sunny spot for them. If you don't have a lot of space, consider taking a cutting from that great plant and starting a new plant with it. To do this, take a 3 to 5 inch cutting from a vigorously growing plant. You should do this late summer if possible, but you can still try this method in early fall. Try to take the cuttings from non-flowering shoots. If your plant is so beautiful you can't find one without flowers, then just cut or pinch off any blooms or buds when you take the cutting. Remove any leaves from the lower half of each cutting and insert the bottom third of the stem into a pot of moist potting soil. You can add rooting hormone if you like, but most cuttings taken this way will root easily enough without it. Place a plastic bag over the pot, supporting it with a couple of skewers, twigs, or stakes to keep the plastic up off the plant, and place your pot of cuttings in a bright place, but not in direct sun. You don't want to cook your cuttings. In about 3 or 4 weeks, the cuttings will be rooted, and you can then remove the plastic bag and place the pot in a sunny window. When the warm weather returns, slowly acclimate your overwintered plants to the outside again and enjoy them all summer. Good luck, Jerry. This is a fun way to garden all year long. Uncle Morey just stopped by for a visit and to sing a song he's been working on for a local talent show. I think you'll agree that it's perfect for this time of year.
Summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, and then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind, like painted kites, those days and nights, they went flying by. The world was new beneath a blue umbrella sky. Then softer than a piper man, one day it called to you. I lost you to the summer wind. The autumn wind and the winter winds, they have come and gone. And still the days, those lonely days, they go on and on. And guess who sighs his lullabies through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind, the summer wind, warm summer wind, summer wind.
Great job, Uncle Morey. I think you may win first prize. I'd like you to try a new recipe later, so take a seat and put your feet up for a while. And speaking of feet, has summer sandal season taken its toll on your feet? Here are some tips to get those poor feet feeling much better. First, buff those calluses and dry skin with a pumice stone. emery board, or electronic exfoliator. Next, soak your feet in a warm foot bath for at least 5 minutes. You can add other products to the water that soften the skin if you wish. Next, lift one foot out of the water and apply exfoliation cream in small circular motions. Apply the cream to a loofah sponge or pumice stone to help reduce calluses. Exfoliation increases the circulation, stimulates the lymph flow, removes dead skin, and smooths the skin's surface. Though, be gentle when applying to the top of the foot. Put your foot back in the bath and repeat the procedure with the other foot. Now, remove both feet from the bath, dry them, and wrap them in a nice warm heated towel for a few minutes. When the towel has cooled, remove it and apply a good lotion and massage it into your feet. I find peppermint is very refreshing, but if you're headed to bed, lavender will be lovely. Take care of your feet so they can take care of you. Time for another letter, and Jimmy's here to help answer this one. Why don't you read it?
Sure. Paul in New Denmark sends this in. Dear Aunt Anne, I have a new car for the first time. What tips do you have to keep it looking like new for as long as possible? Paul. Congratulations on the new car. That's really exciting. Proper car care is important whether your car is brand new or 10 years old. The steps are the same, although you may have to spend a little more time on an older car. Here are a few things I've learned over the years that I think may help you out. First, wash it. Thoroughly wash your car to remove dirt and grime. Use a high-quality car wash shampoo, a wash mitt, and microfiber drying towels. Also, use 2 buckets, one for your car wash solution and the other for rinsing your mitt. Next, polish it. Protect the paint surface from harsh environmental elements and prevent premature aging with a car wax. Paint protectant or a paint sealant also works as well. Many new car owners look at the clear coat on your car as a protective layer that shields the paint from harm. Well, this simply is not true. The clear coat is a tough, clear paint that is there to protect your color and add depth in the shine. It is not a super high-tech protectant. It is just clear paint, and it needs to be protected. Also, think about your car. Tree sap and bird droppings aren't good for your paint finish. Time is of the essence when you find something deposited on your car. Don't put it off until tomorrow. Clean it as soon as you can. Usually, water will do the trick. When it comes to the inside, start by vacuuming and spot shampooing the carpeting. Household rug cleaning spray foam will usually work well. For cloth seats, vacuum the upholstery using an upholstery attachment and shampoo as necessary, using a spray foam upholstery cleaning product. Vacuuming the cushions prevents dirt from acting like tiny little knives that will ruin the fabrics. To repel dirt and stains, treat the seats with a spray-on fabric protector. For leather seats, apply a leather restoring cream using a clean terry cloth towel. Treat vinyl upholstery as well as the dashboard and trim items with a spray-on product specifically designed for plastic and rubber surfaces. In addition to restoring a like-new gloss, this will keep such surfaces from drying, fading, or cracking. Use a cotton swab to work the treatment into seams and to brighten up vents, crevices, and other irregular surfaces. Common household window cleaners work well for most automotive glass surfaces, but a mixture of white vinegar and water is often recommended for tinted windows. Finally, treat the tires, exterior rubber, and/or plastic trim with the aforementioned plastic and rubber protector. You can use a specific tire foam shine product to give your car's tires a wet look shine and further protect the rubber compound against fading and cracking. I use a chrome treatment to polish exterior trim, but be sure the surfaces are actually metal and not just brightly painted plastic. Household window cleaner can suffice to shine metal surfaces, but apply it with a rag to avoid spraying ammonia-based product onto freshly waxed paint. There you have it, Paul. Have fun with your new car.
Thanks, Jimmy. Stick around and sample some of my freezer jam with Uncle Morey.
Sure, Ann.
came across some very useful information on how to remove common stains recently when I spilled some perfume on my skirt. To get the stain out, I was advised to soak it in baking soda and water for about 15 minutes, then launder as usual. The stain came right out. Here are a few other stain removal tips you may want to try. You can remove tea by spraying the stain with a mixture of a teaspoon of vinegar to a half gallon of water. Let it sit for 10 minutes, gently rub, blot, and rinse and launder as usual. To take out a lipstick stain, dab the area with mild liquid dish soap. Let it sit for 10 minutes and rinse. Repeat until the stain is gone. To remove red wine, dab the stain with paper towels to absorb as much wine as possible. Blot, don't rub. Then flush the stain with white wine, blotting between applications. Next, use club soda followed by white vinegar. Repeat as needed. Hopefully, these tips will help next time you have a spill. Well, I think it's time to try our freezer jam recipe. Uncle Morey, Jimmy, come taste the freezer jam with some ice cream. Tell me what you think.
Looks delicious. That's really good.
You're a lucky man, Jimmy.
Well, I hope this edition's recipes and tips will help make your life easier. Now let's take a minute to enjoy a poem by the author of the Anne of Green Gables series, Lucy Maud Montgomery. It's called In the Days of the Goldenrod. Across the meadow in brooding shadow, I walk to drink of the autumn's wine. The charm of story, the artist's glory, today on these silvering hills is mine. On height, in hollow, where'er I follow, by mellow hillside and searing sod, its plumes uplifting, in light winds drifting, I see the glimmer of goldenrod. In the latest comer, the vanished summer has left its sunshine the world to cheer, and bids us remember in late September what beauty mates with the passing year. The days that are fleetest are still the sweetest, and life is near to the heart of God, and the peace of heaven to earth is given in this wonderful time of the goldenrod. Thank you for watching and spending some of your day with us. If you have a favorite poem, please send it our way through our website or Facebook page. We'll be back soon with a new show that you will be sure to enjoy. Please stop by for a visit and keep those letters coming.
It's a lovely day today, so whatever you've got to do, you got a lovely day to do it in, that's true. And I hope whatever you've got to do is something that can be done by two, or I'd really like to stay. It's a lovely day today, and whatever you've got to do, I'd be so happy to be doing it with you. But if you've got something that must be done, and it can only be done by one, there is nothing more to say.